You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Fleming versus Jemison.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. Fleming, you are suing the defendant for fraudulent misrepresentation because you say she deceived you and your son, Calvin, into believing her daughter, Alina, is his child. You've petitioned the court for a paternity test and are asking the court to award you $500 in expenses. Ms. Jemison, you admit you slept with another man around the time of conception, but you are certain Ms. Fleming is your child's grandmother.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Fleming, why is it so important for you to get a DNA test done today?
Your Honor, it's so important to me, first of all, because I love Adriana and I love Alina. I love Alina with all my heart. And we want to, as my family needs to know, we need to know the truth. My son has asked me several times. He explains that he does not want his family to not be certain. So that is why we're here today. And there have been several things that have taken place, and Calvin needs to have this test. He's written me letters saying that he wants to know. So I have proof here.
I would like to see that proof. Jerome, will you hand me the evidence, please? And this is?
That's a letter from him, Your Honor, that he sent me last month stating that he wants to have this test taken. So it is not just me.
The letter reads, I want a DNA test as soon as possible because I love Alina to death, and I really don't want this to get any deeper than it already is. So if there's any way I can get it done, I would really appreciate that.
Yes, Your Honor.
So he is unable to have the DNA test now?
Yes, ma'am, he's unable.
Because he's in jail, he's incarcerated.
Yes, he's incarcerated.
And so we were able to perform a grandparentage test.
Yes.
To be able to get you some answers today.
Thank you.
So what is your relationship with Alina right now?
When all of this stuff first came out, when I found out that my son could possibly be having a child, I wasn't certain. Adriana was very honest about the fact that she wasn't 100% sure. So we kept our distance, but as we've gone through and she's here and she's born and we've had reason to believe that she is ours, I've spent time with her and gotten very close to her, and I do love her.
And so, Ms. Jemison.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe there is reason to doubt it all?
Yes, Your Honor, I do believe that.
Well,
there's
please
reason
tell the
to
court
doubt.
about that.
I was with somebody else. The other guy was a one-time thing. Calvin was basically staying with me.
You really believe Calvin is the father?
Yes, Your Honor, I really believe that he's the father. There's no doubt in my mind that he's not the father of Alina at all. And I know because my daughter was born with a 6-digit, and that the extra digit is genetically passed from the father's side of the family.
Your Honor, I'm a nurse, and I know that it can't just be on one side of the family. His grandmother, my son's grandmother, is a female, and if she passed the gene on to her family, how can it only be passed by a male? I know that it cannot just be passed on one side. There's also other reason with the extra digit for me to believe that this may possibly not be a genetic trait from my son, because we were in the delivery room when Adriana was having the baby. And one of her family members mentions that she has a sibling that has that was born with the same thing.
But he has a separate father. Me and my brother do not share the same father.
So what you found out, that there was a sibling that also had a 6th digit?
Yes.
And so that then fueled your doubt more?
Yes, it did. It was a whole different her after she heard that from them.
And so when you initially heard about this 6th digit, that made you believe that the child was your son?
Absolutely. And
because you knew that was a family trait?
Yes, and I allowed myself to feel wholeheartedly, and I did not restrain my feelings from that point on because I felt like this was my granddaughter.
So that was your moment where you said, this is his son.
Yes.
I'm this child's grandmother.
Absolutely.
Let me jump in.
Yes.
Let me get involved.
Right, because my son wasn't there, so I felt like I had to be there for her because he's not available.
That is admirable.
And Your Honor, I have evidence here. I was very excited about the baby. I brought on her cake for the shower. I can't wait to meet you, Alina.
I'd like to see that evidence.
I was very excited that she was coming.
She was excited. I'm not saying that she wasn't, but...
And you were truly excited?
Yes, absolutely.
You were going to be a grandmother?
Yes.
You heard about this trait, you said, okay, this is my son's child.
But there's more traits that leads that it's his daughter. She's born with a lazy eye. My daughter has a lazy eye. And I did notice a while ago that Natasha had a lazy eye in the same exact eye, and it's the same thing. And my daughter was born with dimples. His grandmother has dimples. I don't have dimples, but I don't know where the dimples come from.
Right, I don't know.
But his grandma was born with dimples. The other guy don't have dimples. He don't have an extra digit. He don't have any of that. It's more that leads to Calvin. My daughter is very long. Calvin is very long and very tall. She's very light-skinned. I am light-skinned, but I'm not as light as how my daughter is.
Beautiful little girl.
So I just know that that's his baby. And with the 6th digit, I asked the other guy about it. He told me if something's wrong with your baby, that don't run in my family. Once I heard that, I just called Calvin and I asked him. I said, does anybody in your family has an extra digit? He says yes. Then later on in the evening, his mom called and said, your grandma has the same exact digit, in the same exact hand, in the same exact spot.
Really?
That's exactly where her extra digit is. Same exact hand, same exact spot. And I've been with Calvin for 2 years now, on and off, messing around with him. And I just know that that's his baby.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
I don't see the resemblance. The baby looks just
I do.
like
I
her
see the
mother.
resemblance. She does
And
look just like me,
don't
but
see the
she does has features that points to him.
Ms.
She has
Fleming,
it on
you've
her.
brought
Those are
a
his
witness
lips.
today. I'd like to
have.
hear from her. Please stand, ma'am. State your name.
Markia Elliott,
Markia, you are...
his sister.
All right. And so, ma'am, what do you know about this situation?
Let me first say that me and my brother are the closest out of all of my siblings. You know, we're only 18 months apart. So, you know, he was calling me and things of that nature, and I would come get him and Adriana if he needed me to. So I know that he was with her at times, but I've heard rumors in the beginning, not even from him, saying that, you know,
Exactly.
she was loose. And
I was
I know
not
for
loose.
a, I know,
I was not loose.
I
I
know
was
for
single.
a fact. I don't know why she's so adamant, because she states herself that she slept with other people.
I
So
slept with one
where
other
does
guy.
Yes,
not
how do you,
other people, just one
okay,
other guy.
it takes one time to make a
Okay,
baby.
you're right.
You say he didn't want to be with her for specific reasons. What reasons?
She did have a boyfriend, and she was still dealing with him.
No, me and my ex-boyfriend were long over with before.
You broke up because
I
of
broke
him
up with
too.
my boyfriend for Calvin. I wasn't.
Okay, so you were messing
No,
with
but
him.
I
You don't
wasn't
even
messing around with my
mess with.
ex-boyfriend anymore. It's no
Oh,
way
okay.
that it's his at all.
Okay. I knew for a fact the day of conception, you had sex with someone else, and he was with other people, she was with other people. It's just very messy.
So it was like an open relationship
Yeah,
with no
basically-
commitment. Both were
basically-
sleeping with other
friends.
people.
Yeah, they were best
Yeah,
friends.
they were friends.
And
They
if
were
she's
friends.
getting pregnant by her best friend, who knows?
Before all this happened, Markia knew nothing about me. She didn't really know me. She just heard hearsay. I never really conversated with her, and it's still like that to this day because it's just tension and animosity between each other because of what she's heard. So she never really liked me.
That's what my
But once she wrote that, I can't wait for her to get here, I was kind of, excited, like, okay, Markia might come up to see her when I had her. Markia was nowhere to be found. She never came up there. She never texted me congratulations, but
Oh.
she was on Facebook saying she couldn't wait for her niece to get here.
Okay, I said that, and then after that, at the hospital, when my mom was there until 3 o'clock in the morning with
You're
you.
right. Your mom
going
was
to-
there with me.
Okay, let me
I'm very
speak, let me
appreciative of your mom
speak,
being there
let
with me. I'm not
speak,
saying.
Let me speak.
Speak.
She went to work the next day, sleepy as ever. She's doing all of this, and she calls me crying, saying that she finds out that her sibling had an extra finger also, and this is something that I believe that she was told. I don't believe that.
I was not.
Listen, lady.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Markia, what you're saying is you believe she always knew
Yes.
there was a family member on her side that also had the 6th finger.
Yes, I think
but
that
was
it's
hiding that
inevitable.
information
Yes.
purposefully.
Yes.
Miss Fleming, in that moment when you heard about her family member also having the 6th finger, that was the moment you began to
dropped
doubt.
to my feet.
She was so
I
different.
had everything in me
Good.
that it
She
took
should.
to
That's good.
stay
That's
there
okay.
the whole time because I was like, what do I do? Do I stay or do I go? And now I'm back at 50-50 again. So when the baby's born, I'm looking for anything. I'm grasping for straws. Does she have his fingers? Does she have his toes? Does
Right.
she have anything? But I can't find anything. So the very next day, I went up to the hospital and I sat down and I told Adriana and I talked to her mother and said, we're going to have to do a DNA test. I'm a very black and white person. I can't deal with gray. I can't not know, and it's not fair to her. She's beautiful. She has to know. It's not right.
You submitted a statement from your son. It reads, no one on my side of the family sees a resemblance in Alina, so there's a very high doubt that she's not mine. I don't really know, but I strongly believe and want her to be mine. I love her. I just don't see a future with her if Alina is not mine. Her meaning Miss Jemison. He doesn't see a future with Miss Jemison if Alina is not his.
I think he'll have a hard time getting over the fact that she's not his. He wants nothing more. He wants nothing more in this
He
world.
really and truly
He
wants.
really and truly wants it. And he told me that he feels like the baby is his. He doesn't feel like she's not his. He doesn't like the tension. He doesn't want the tension between the two.
It's only them that don't see that that's his baby.
Side of the
I've
family
taken
believes
her
that.
to his
Father's
previous
side.
jobs. I've taken her out anywhere, and people that know what he looks like and then know what I look like, when I first brought her home, when people seen her, they like, wow, she looks like both of you. She looks like you, but you could see Calvin. I brought him to his job.
100%.
She's like, wow, she looks just like him, but she looks like you. Like, there's a resemblance that they look alike, but she favors me more. My mom has genes like that.
Jemison, you brought a witness. I'd like to hear from him. Sir, would you stand, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Stand at the podium. And your name?
My name is Calvin Carthon Sr.
You are. So you are Mr. Carthon's father,
Yes, I am.
and you are standing next to Miss Jemison.
Yes, I am. And the reason being is because I'm in full support of Adriana. I would represent my son and my son wishes, and I know he would be here with her right now as we speak. And that's why I'm here.
So you believe
Your Honor, he hasn't talked
that
to my
your
son.
son's belief
Your Honor, he hasn't
haven't.
talked to my son since my son has gotten arrested.
No,
He
that's
hasn't
not
talked
true.
to
He
him.
spoke to him last week. I put him on a three-way.
Oh,
Yeah.
Spoke to
that
his
was the
son.
first time
I
in 6
spoke.
months. I'm sorry.
So, Mr. Carthon, you believe your son is the father. You believe Alina is your grandchild.
Well, Your Honor, we have to first keep in mind that there is a young child at stake here, you know, the future of this young child, regardless of whether CJ is the biological father or not.
I am too, but I feel like we still have to have the truth and we have to know, regardless.
I have no objection.
So, Ms. Fleming, I want to take a moment and understand your lawsuit. You are suing for $500 in expenses for items you've purchased for Alina. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you bring proof of any of those expenses?
No, Your Honor. After we discussed it, and I just had a hard time pulling things together and to even move forward in that direction with trying to tally what I've done for her. At the end of the day, it's not about the financial aspect of it. It's about the baby. So yes, we did talk about that, but I have a very hard time attempting to pursue that because I care about her. I care about the baby, and whatever I gave her is hers.
So, Ms. Fleming, are you saying you'd like to withdraw your claim?
Yes, ma'am. I just want to know if this is my baby.
So that claim is dismissed. I think at this point, the best thing to do is go to the results. It's time. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. As I mentioned early, in order to determine if Alina is the child of Calvin Carthon Jr., we performed a grandparentage test using your DNA, Ms. Fleming and Mr. Carthon Sr. It will basically determine the relatedness of the grandparents to the child, okay? In the case of Fleming v. Jemison, do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Fleming v. Jemison, pertaining to 3-month-old Alina Carthon, it has been determined by this court, Ms. Fleming and Mr. Carthon are not related to Alina Carthon.
I was hoping I was wrong.
I'm sorry I was not able to give you all the answer you wanted.
You're going to be 100% behind her regardless.
Adriana.
Ms. Jemison, I do have to ask, are you certain this other gentleman is her biological father?
Yeah. I hate him. He's horrible.
You have to deal with him, Adriana.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so embarrassed.
It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna take care of her.
Oh my God.
Here, baby, it's okay.
Oh, Markia, I'm sorry, but it is the other guy's baby. I'm sorry, but I didn't know. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry, okay?
Miss Jemison, do you know where he is? I know
He's
you're
like
so
nowhere
upset.
around.
Your Honor, that's
My
irrelevant.
son will be home.
I don't even know how to I don't even know. I don't know what.
We'll figure it out.
We're gonna deal with
We'll
this.
figure it out.
And we're gonna move on.
Oh my God.
As Alina
Horrible.
is our grandchild, we're not gonna need to find the other father.
When I have to deliver unfortunate news that people don't want to hear, it's difficult. It's difficult. But before we begin to make sweeping decisions about what's irrelevant and what isn't, while the court, of course, recognizes that love and heartfelt ties, they're bonding and long-lasting feelings that can create relationships, families. You know, people that consider themselves family are not necessarily all the time biologically related. We understand that.
the best family.
And yet, I think there is something important and real about the truth. That doesn't mean you can't be there for her. That doesn't mean you can't be her grandparents. That doesn't mean you can't be her family. But it does mean that you have to consider before you would withhold this truth. But now it's time to figure out how to move forward for your baby's sake, okay? We have counseling resources for you. We want you to take advantage of them. But most importantly, lift Alina up and be there for her and make sure she knows the truth as well. I wish you all the very best of luck. Court is adjourned.